All right, let's get this shit out of the way. So, this AEW Dynamite, AEW, Tony Khan, the Young Bucks, they all apparently thought it was a good idea to continue this nonsense with CM Punk and to release the footage of the All In tape that we all were wondering about 8 months ago. And, like, man, what happened? What happened? What happened? I have. I came to the conclusion that there probably wouldn't be anything good coming out of this. Either they were going to do a bait and switch and it really wasn't the footage, or they would actually show the footage. They kind of combined the two and kind of used this footage to make motivation for the tag match between FTR and the Young Bucks and have it have that tinge, that little edge to it, which I think it works in that degree to give a little what's going to happen to the match. I mean, they could use this and spin this out into something that's actually a work. We'll have to see what happens at Dynasty, but I don't know. This footage is exactly, well, not exactly, but it's pretty much what I thought it was going to look like. Now, the one thing I did note when the footage starts is I had always said back when Tony Khan was talking about how he feared for his life and putting people and staff in danger, whatever, I had said and thought at the time, I was like, well, there's a lot of equipment back behind the scenes at these places. So, you know, if somebody knocked over one of those par cans or par lights or whatever, and the first thing I saw when the video started was there were a bunch of those lights, those big heavy lights that they use to light people up for cameras for when they go on TV. In the foreground, I was like, oh crap. Maybe that is what happened. Maybe he knocked over something and somebody almost got, I mean, I was expecting to see one of those light fixtures fall over and almost hit somebody or something like that, right? That did not happen in this video. So that first part, I mean, I understand Tony Khan may have felt in a split second that, you know, I'm sure when all the monitors fell on top of him and he wasn't expecting it, and they're pretty large monitors, but even still, it's like, fear for your life. If that's what he was talking about, that's a little bit much. We do see Punk lunge at Tony Khan afterwards, which I'm surprisingly, a lot of people seem to be ignoring that part of this whole thing. It's like right after the fight's broken up, you see Tony Khan is off to the right and Punk lunges at him. So yeah, I don't know why everybody's missing out on that part, but the quote unquote fight itself was exactly what it's the same thing we've heard for 8 months. Punk and Perry were talking. It went on for a while. Punk put Perry in a chokehold and a guillotine. He actually did lay hands on Perry. He pushes him. You see him. Jack Perry. By the way, Jack Perry is more concerned with brushing his hair back than anything. He's in fact brushing his hair back when Punk hits him the first time. And then Punk grabs him into a chancery or a guillotine, whatever you want to call it. You got Samoa Joe, you got Chris Hero, I think Jerry Lynn's in there too, referee, a bunch of other security people coming in, breaking it up, and that's when you see Punk lunge at Tony Khan, and then it's taken off. He's taken off screen, and you see Chris Hero just like Chris Hero's. Here's the thing. No matter what anybody says about it, because people have already made up their minds about this stuff. If you like Punk and you're going to be on his side, you're going to spin it his way. If you like AEW, you're going to spin it that way. Me, I look at this as another example of narcissistic rage or somebody being very clever in the way that they're trying to get out of their contract. And very unprofessional. I think that's the overall thing. But I think Chris Hero's reaction at the very end of this video, I think that speaks volumes for that. That's the story in itself. That's the reaction. That's what happened. that is the reaction I would have if I had been there. And clearly, you don't need to say anything more than that. Just look at Chris Hero's reaction to it. There you go. Do I think this is a good thing? Probably not, because you know I hate all the bickering and stuff. I'd rather just watch the shows and enjoy the shows, but we're back into this nonsense. And it's going to be like this. And, you know, Punk responded already with a bunch of laughing. Yeah, ha 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 ha. Half the people are for Punk, half the people for AEW, yada, yada, yada. I don't care anymore. Hopefully after Dynasty, unless they cleverly turn this into some sort of angle at Dynasty in a match with FTR and the Bucks, I really don't want to ever have to hear about this stupid thing again. And, yeah, we're done. Then again, you know, Jack Perry's over mocking Punk in New Japan doing his elbow drop and stuff, so whatever. But that's my thoughts on it. I want to know what you guys think. Well, actually, don't really care what anybody else thinks. I don't want to think about this anymore, but you guys can have a conversation with each other down in the description box below. And until next time, I got a Secure Genesis video coming up pretty soon. I did work on that today, so I'll see you guys here as we cover more of the ridiculous world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.